Let's first talk about how to keep from encountering that crashing sound. We all know that before we back our vehicle, we should practice our backing goal. That is, get out and look for items in your backing path. This includes items on the ground, to the sides, as well as overhead. So before you back into any spot, you should get out of your tractor, using your 3 points of contact, of course, and walk to the back of your rig and see what's there. Then take a long look at where you are going to be backing into, and remember to look up. Look overhead to see if there are any signs, wires, or suspended lights in your path. Does the roof line extend from the building you are backing towards? Is the doorway you are backing to covered by a canopy? Walk in the direction you'll be driving and take a look at the surface you'll be backing over. Is there any trash, metal, or holes in your backing route? Some drivers may feel that getting out and looking indicates inexperience or a lower level of driving skill. Others believe that getting out once before a challenging backing maneuver is all that's required. The reason we get out and look is to ensure we know where the hazards are and our exact relationship to those hazards. When performing a difficult backing maneuver, it's your responsibility to get out and look as many times as it takes to ensure a safe backing maneuver. Just as the professional carpenter measures twice before he makes a cut, the professional driver gets out and looks as many times as it takes to ensure that a backing maneuver is safe and collision-free. Usually, the space in the rear of a building is dedicated to shipping and receiving, and hopefully it's set up for trucks. But retail businesses share their space with other businesses, and likewise, other delivery drivers. The back of a store is also where some employees park, right in the spot you need to unload, or in a space you need for maneuvering purposes. That's why it's important to be as proactive as possible with your regular customer stops. Take the time to discuss what you need to make your customer's delivery as safe and efficient as possible. This includes where not to park, as well as where the best spot to pile plowed snow. In shopping centers, the back lot of the retail store is also where you find trash dumpsters, as well as transformers. It's important to take note of both these hazards for different reasons. Note where the trash dumpster is immediately when you pull behind a shop. Has it been moved? Will you need to adjust how you set up for your delivery? The answer to these questions is often yes. Transformers, on the other hand, never move. They are often painted in muted dark colors that blend in with building materials and are hard to see in shadows. It is critical that you note the position of the transformers as you enter a facility, because transformers are expensive. The damage to this transformer was $23,000. Identify where the transformers are at your delivery locations, and then plot a path that steers clear of this hazard. Before we wrap up, we need to speak about one last concern associated with fixed object collisions. That concern is distracted driving. We're not talking about the cell phone here, although that can definitely be a distraction, but rather your focus when pulling into, and more importantly, driving away from a customer location. Too often we hear the reason given for a collision was that a driver was in a hurry. That implies that the driver was working too fast. Generally, working fast doesn't mean you can't work safe. It just means you need to be 100% focused on the task at hand. More times than not, when a driver says he was in a hurry, his mind was not on the maneuver he was making, but fixed on his next stop or calculating what time he will be finished with his run. These concerns are valid. You don't want to be late for a delivery or a personal commitment, but there are too many hazards at any stop to be focused on anything but your safe exit. Another common collision is where we pull in near a hazard and make a mental note to avoid it when leaving. However, when we switch our focus, it rarely ever returns to the hazard, and more times than not, we experience a collision. That's why it is always a good idea to avoid stopping near a hazard. If that's not possible, before you put your vehicle back into motion, perform a safety circle check. Take a quick walk around your vehicle to refocus on those hazards around and above your vehicle.